Soon may the wellerman come, bring us coffee, tea, and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, take our leave and go. At a fair in the sunlit town, her hair was blonde and her dress was brown. Soon may the wellerman come around.
Before starting the video, I just wanted to let everyone know that I'm going to be trying something a little different here. The second half of this video will be available on my recently published website, cumberlandrover.com. There's no charge and I don't run any ads whatsoever as on this channel, but I do have a store not filled with trash merch, but with handmade items of my own design that will be of interest to sailors and outdoor enthusiasts. At cumberlandrover.com, I will be regularly posting videos not available on this channel, as well as articles and trip reports, both of which are free of cost. You'll find a link to the site in the description of this video. I think most of you viewers have realized that my videos don't always come out in chronological order in terms of when they were recorded. That's right, I'm basically Quentin Tarantino, but my films are slightly less violent. In this one, I'm actually revisiting the same location and launch site from the last video I released. But a couple of weeks have passed and I've been on several outings in the meantime. On the previous outing, I had discovered a new island complete with tall trees that was unknown to me, and so this time the goal is to get to that island. It's a flat calm right now and I was really hoping to sail today. There's a big wall of clouds moving in from the south. I wonder if it would be too optimistic to go ahead and set the sail and get the rudder down. Probably too optimistic. Oh yeah, those guys are moving pretty good there. With my luck, it'll just barely miss me. Judging by the clouds on the horizon, I was fairly confident that wind was on the way, but that's never a guarantee. So in the meantime, might as well get this tub moving the less preferred way. I don't mind rowing. I actually enjoy rowing this boat. It's really pretty easy. It's a light boat. The oars are a little on the short side, but they're not bad. They're comfortable to use, but maybe could use a little more leverage. The wind kicked in about halfway to the island, and it wasn't a lot of wind, but it was enough. I just saw some commercial fishermen pulling in their nets. I think they were gill netting for Asian carp. I've never actually seen them bringing in a catch before, but they're still bringing them in, and they've been hauling in fish for the last 10 minutes or so. Since arriving on this island, I've noticed that there are a couple of individual shoals just to the west of here. And since I've got good wind at the moment, I think I'm going to go ahead and sail to the full extent of my voyage today and go and check out the shoals first, since I know I'm going to be rowing back this direction anyways. I've found pelicans to be very laid-back birds, and you can do just about anything around them and they don't really care. But if you jibe your boat, pelicans may become irate. I probably sailed within 100 yards of this flock, maybe closer, and they scarcely glanced at me. But as soon as I jibed the sail, they were out of there. Apparently pelicans really do not approve of jibing. Every single one of them did fly away. They were all standing out on the point of the island, but they didn't actually fly away from the island, just flew in a big circle and landed on the outermost shoal. So they're not too bothered. They're just taking some precautionary measures. There's a long, flat, shallow section leading up to this shoal, so I wasn't quite able to make it to dry land with the boat. So I'm now using my dagger board as an anchor. It seems to be working, at least for the moment. I've walked down to the south end of this shoal, and what strikes me about this one, it has quite a bit more elevation than most of the shoals that I've been on. It's actually pretty high over the surface of the water right now. So in the direction that I'm facing is the big island with the trees and much higher elevation. It's very shallow right here on the southern point of the shoal, and it looks very flat on the northern point of the island. I'm just wading out right now about ankle deep, and I'm pretty sure I could walk across very easily if I wanted to. I'm basically certain. This is all sort of one landmass right here, and I've been exploring a lot of these islands that are just north of the 6880 bridge, and it seems to me that they're all part of the same ridge. So before the creation of Barkley Dam, which flooded the Cumberland, this was all a ridge, and to the west side, my left side, that would have been creeks, and the right side was the main Cumberland River channel, and the creeks all would have flowed into the Cumberland. So it makes sense geographically. If you count the shoals, then there's as many as 16 shoals and islands between the 6880 bridge and the north of LBL, but I'm discovering new ones all the time. Something you may have noticed in my videos before that you may be curious about, there's these old bathtubs everywhere turned upside down, especially on Barkley, but they're on Kentucky Lake as well. What are these things for? What could they possibly be for? They're turned upside down, bedded into the ground, and they have that square hole cut out at one end. What I've been told, and what I understand, is that they're meant to attract catfish. And that could just be for conventional fishing with a rod and reel, but I've been told that it's specifically done for people who are noodling. Noodling is actually a way of catching catfish by allowing them to bite your bare arm. And I have seen it done in person, and you tend to catch some very large ones that way, but you have to know where their shelter is, what kind of a hole they're going in. So people will make artificial ones out of bathtubs and other similar containers. I personally have nothing against that type of fishing, but it is kind of an eyesore to see these things out here. But you don't see them at high water, so I guess I'm basically the only one that sees them that would care. I'm the only one out here when the water is this low, generally speaking, other than the duck hunters and commercial fishermen, and they don't care. But oh well, that's you have to let everyone have their own particular activity or hobby out here. I've walked out to the north end and I can tell that this shoal basically just continues. I'm just walking in the middle of the lake right here. I had a friend who used to remark how you'll see tourists during the summer, mostly from up north in their pontoon boats or ski boats or whatever, and they see all this water and they'll just take off thinking they can go anywhere, not realizing there's all these shoals and submerged timber and a lot of hazards that you have to watch out for that will put a hole in a fiberglass boat or wreck your prop. A lot of hazards out here, and if you don't know the waters, you need to just generally stick to the marked channels, the creek channels and the river channel. It can be very dangerous, and there's even exposed house foundations that are submerged that I've heard of. Very expensive speedboats wrecking into house, or not even just foundations, but into concrete houses that weren't demolished. I've heard of a speedboat near the rock quarry wrecking into a concrete house, and then another speedboat came to tow it, and the second one wrecked into another house because they hadn't looked at any charts and they didn't understand where the hazards were. And you could see how people would not understand that if they hadn't been taught. Air America just passing by. I see all the spooky aircraft out here. That was a twin-engine plane with a big boom hanging off the tail. I'm gonna call that Air America. In the next installment of the Cumberland Rover, I explore the full length of this island, which turns out to be a little bit bigger than I thought. I have an unusual wildlife encounter, then the weather starts to get a little dicey. It's blowing pretty good. Looks like there's some dark clouds moving in from the west. The next installment is available now at cumberlandrover.com. my freshly published website. On my site, I will be regularly releasing exclusive videos and articles only available at cumberlandrover.com. On the site, I also have several unique handmade products that will be of interest to sailors and outdoor enthusiasts, including a waxed canvas tote and a cushion designed specifically for small non-powered craft, which is made with a combination of Sunbrella and Cordura fabrics, and dual layer foam for support and comfort, as well as water resistance.